everyone, and welcome. Today I am joined in studio by the lovely Melissa Zavala from Broadpoint Properties. Today we're going to be talking about the 6 ways to prepare to buy a house. Now, the American dream doesn't just happen overnight. You have to be prepared. So Melissa, start us off with step 1.
Well, step 1 is you need to talk to a lender. There are all sorts of loan programs and all sorts of different mortgage lenders out there, and you need to really find out what you can qualify for, what kind of programs are applicable to you, and how to move forward with the loan process.
Right, and that kind of leads us into step 2. You got to clean up your credit.
Right, so not everybody's going to have to do step 2, but that's why you have to talk to the lender first, because sometimes if you have a higher credit score, then you can qualify for more or get a better interest rate, which ultimately results in a lower mortgage payment. So that's why it's a good idea to take some time if you need to clean up your credit, raise your score 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 points. It could be a short period of time, but it will give you the possibility of buying more.
Right, which kind of rolls us into step 3. Take us through step 3.
Well, step 3 is saving for a down payment. Not everyone's going to need to do this. Believe it or not everyone is going to need to bring a down payment to the table. You can actually buy a house with 0 money down and get the seller to pay for your closing costs, the cost of escrow, title, things like that. However, for some people, you may need to save. Traditionally, we would have to bring 20% down to buy a home, but now you can buy a home with 3.5% down, 5% down, and again, 0% down. So when you speak with the lender, then you can figure out, do I need to save money? How much? And you can make a plan for doing that. And if you're kind of one of those people that has trouble saving, there's a really good book by a guy named Dave Ramsey called the Total Money Makeover, and that book gives you some real easy tips for how to save money quickly.
So now let's dive into the fun stuff. Step 4 is let's find a neighborhood. Let's research our neighborhood, find out what we like, coastal, inland. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, your budget and the conversation with the lender is kind of going to dictate how much you can spend. If you're in San Diego County, going coastal can often be more expensive. So once you know how much you want, if you really want to go coastal, that might limit you. You may not be able to afford to get a 6-bedroom house on the coast, but you may be able to afford to get a bigger home inland, depending on your neighborhood. So you really need to research the neighborhood so that you can move forward and see what's available in your price range.
And in keeping with the research, what I would need to look at is how much counter space each house has, because that is something I can't live without. I need prep space in the kitchen and I need counter space in my bathroom. So learning what you can't live without is very important.
Yes, that's an interesting thing. So I did say that number 5 is deciding what you can't live without. But the issue with that is people who are out viewing homes, shopping for homes, looking at homes, often need to consider they might see a spot on the carpet or get a weird smell because maybe there was an animal that lived in the property before, but that's okay. Those things can be corrected. You really need to assess, like you said, what you can't live without. You can't live without space in the kitchen. I agree, I need space in the bathroom. I like my own sink. I like a little bit of privacy. I like a big closet. So certain things definitely cannot be fixed affordably, and certain things, just like new carpet or new flooring, can be fixed more affordably.
Wrap us up, let's talk about number 6.
Number 6 doesn't have to be last, but it is very, very important. That's talking with an agent. You can talk with an agent and even get a referral to some good mortgage lenders, but agents really can crack the code to properties on the internet. You might go on Zillow, you might go online and search for properties. Many of them may look like awesome, but you might find out that there is some structural problem and that's why they've been on the market, or that's why they've been at this great price. And really the realtor is going to have the insider info, the intel on which homes are available for sale, which ones are a good deal, and which ones you can actually get into and purchase. Speaking with a good agent is vital, one of the most vital parts of that process.
So not last, but interchangeable in that process.
A lot of these pieces are interchangeable, but these are the 6 things that you need to do to prepare to buy a home.
Get in touch with Melissa at Broadpoint Properties. She's going to give you all the tips and tricks you need when purchasing your home. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you, it was fun.